a couple of things that need to be in place no matter what for you to do that with a good quarterback. And that's why number 2 on my list is consistency at center. You have to have it. You have to have it. If you do not have it, you will not win. It's just what it is. If you do not have it, you will not win. This project that we keep doing with the center position of go out and get a guy who is a guard, switch him to center. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. For Cody Whitehair for a couple of years. You bring in Lucas Patrick, try to do the same thing. Lucas Patrick can't block anybody. He can't stay healthy. Cody Whitehair gets back in there. He can't block anybody. He can't snap anymore. He can't stay healthy. You bring in Dan Feeney. Dan Feeney's the number 3 guy out here. He has a nice game. You try and put him out there for some spot moments. He can't stay healthy. All right, like it's been the same thing. And I keep saying this, you haven't had a guy that you looked at center that you were like, that's the answer since Olin Kreutz. You've had guys that have filled in, right? Kyle Long played some snaps there. Cody Whitehair played some snaps there. You've had bodies. But every time you look around, it feels like a scene from what's that show where it's like him, her, him, bodies. Like the bodies are littered everywhere. And that's why I think, especially with a young quarterback, especially with Caleb Williams trying to figure this whole thing out, that's one that I think you need at the start of the season. That's when I think you need to walk into Tennessee, or Tennessee walks into here. You need to walk into Soldier Field and go, that's the answer. That's what I'm looking for. Yep. There it is. Right there. I see it. Because you haven't had that in almost 20 years. 20 might be a lot. When did Olin retire? Was Olin on that last championship team? Or the NFC championship team? Let me see. When did Olin Kreutz retire? Because if he was, I believe he was, Olin Kreutz retired 2011, so he wasn't on that team. He was on New Orleans that year. But 2010 was the year. Is that the year we went to the NFC? Oh, yeah, that is the year we went to the NFC Championship, right? Because 2012 was the offense. Yeah, we were first in our division. Big shock, right? We were first in our division. Lovie Smith goes 11-5. We lost in the conference championship to the Green Bay Packers, 14-21. Yeah. The last season you had a center is the last season you were in the NFC Championship. I may have put this too low. This may be number 1. Y'all let me know in the comments below if I need to flip-flop this. I may have thrown this one too low. That tells you everything you need to know about the center position. We can talk about all these other positions. We can talk about where other guys should line up. We can talk about where other guys fit. We can talk about all of this. You need to have your center position locked up. And you need to have that to me by the start of this season, whether that is going out and signing Connor Williams, whether it is Coleman Shelton, whether it is Ryan Bates. But I got questions on all 3 guys that you have options at right now. And people were looking at me crazy when I was like, draft Jackson Powers Johnson. I like Karan Amageji. I'm glad we got Austin Booker. I think he's really good, and he's going to turn into a nice piece. I would have packaged both those picks and next year's numbered 2nd round pick from the Panthers, and I would have went out and got my center of the future. By the way, who's killing it at camp? But that's just me. The last time you were in an NFC title game, I didn't even have that stat pulled up before we got here. The last time you were in an NFC title game, you had the best center. You had your center position locked up. That checks out. That checks out. Sweet Jesus.